Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I unfortunately came down with a cold and I'm recovering for it, like for over a week at this point now. So I do feel good enough to be able to go out and do my SAS shopping, but unfortunately the majority of my Christmas festivities and week was spent being sick, so that's great. I did test for all the things and they came back negative, so they said it was a common cold, and I guess it's just with the weather changing and everything, it's just lingering for a while, which is quite frustrating because I normally don't get sick very often, knock on wood, so just very I guess frustrating or aggravating to be I guess held down by my sickness. But any case, so if my voice wears out or if I sound very congested, that is the reason. If you follow me on my Instagram lives, then you totally know the whole ordeal. So without further ado, let's get into Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale haulish. But I guess not really without further ado, because I wanted to say one more thing, and that was I had every intention of doing all those top whatever best and worst of 2022, but then the sickness game, so that's why I haven't done any of those, and I'll try to do those going forward. I wasn't just trying to put out a worst homeworks video and just leave it at that. I had every intention of doing the best ones as well, but the cold really got to me, so we'll put that on the back burner. But the timely and relevant thing of the occasion is semi-annual sale at Bath & Body Works, which started today, and I think I went to 4 stores. Everything I got was from the very first store that was most local to me, and I didn't get anything at the other 3 stores. I feel like semi-annual sale was crazy this year. Oh my gosh, long lines at every store, and every store, once you go inside, it was just absolutely jam-packed. The first store, you couldn't even move around. You just bumping into everybody. The line just snaked all up into the entire store, so there were aisles or sections of the stores that you simply couldn't shop because it was blocked off by the checkout line. It was crazy. There was just a lot of shopping going on at all the stores. I mean, the first store, it was insane. It was people had multiple baskets with mounds and mounds of body care. I mean, it was 20, 30 shower gels in each basket. And I was just oh my god, how do you get through all of this? But here I am buying and hauling my ass off with candles all the time, so who am I to say anything? But just the amount of body care that was being snatched off that 75% off table, I mean, it was just crazy. It was just everyone, it was just a free-for-all, and everyone was just getting all of it. And every store I went to, the 75% off table just was completely wiped and cleared, if you weren't there at the very opening. So yeah, I don't know, it seemed a lot crazier. I wasn't expecting, I didn't even get lines for candle day, but for some reason, for semi-annual sale, we are encountering lines and long checkout lines. Yeah, it was crazy. I was not expecting that, and it was just mobs of people at opening, and just wow. But that was what my SAS experience was. All the good stuff was only found in the first store, and then the other stores, it was just kind of if you weren't there at the very beginning, at the opening, it was just kind of picked through. And the only 75% off candles or items that I really got was, again, from that first store, because every other store just kind of was ho hum and boring, and nothing really worth getting. So that was what my experience was. So here's my haul from the very first store. Let's see. The top of my list was on Instagram Live. I was talking with Kevin about how we wanted Market Peach and Strawberry Pound Cake, and I knew one store had it during the 1950 candle promo right before Christmas Day on Christmas Eve and the days before that. I know they had some, but I was I'm not paying $19.50 for it, so I'm hoping that Market Peach and Strawberry Pound Cake will be there for 75% off after Christmas, and bam, there it was, a lone one. I was I'm so glad I didn't spend $19.50 for that. And so this was on a very large 75% off rolling cart, and we have Market Peach and Strawberry Pound Cake right there. This was the one that I blew through so quickly on the very first one. I think it burned great all the way down to the bottom, and it was really strong and great. It's very similar to the peach meringue fragrance, but I think this one's a little bit more trash bag peaches in the way that Market Peach Georgia Peach is than peach meringue was. Then I feel peach meringue was a little bit creamier, more vanilla, but they're very, very, very similar, and I love peach meringue. Juicy peaches, golden shortcake, and whipped cream. I can't say ever really got strawberries in this, from the strawberry pound cake portion of this, but it was basically a peach pound cake fragrance, and it was great. And I was I'd blasted through the first one, and I didn't totally need one, but if I could find one for 75% off, that was the top of my list. So I was really happy to find that. So Market Peach and Strawberry Pound Cake right there. Other 75% off candles, they had most of the big fun collection, so your pink petal tea cake, toasted pineapple marshmallow, hot fudge drizzle stuff. They actually still had a few blueberry pies, bubbly rosé from that specialty box left over. And then I think that was the extent of the 75% off cart. And so I was like, for 75% off, this Pink Petal tea cake like performed flawlessly, like the best Pink Petal tea cake performance of ever. It like the strongest and just like great down to the bottom, that I was like, you know, for 75% off, let me just grab it. So Pink Petal tea cake in this version, you guys know this is like one of my favorite candles of all time. Pink rose petals, pound cake, and vanilla glaze. Has the coral wicks on it, just burns divine. It's just excellent. So good. This is like I was saying like a strawberry vanilla fondant, like petite four tea cake type of fragrance with just a dusting of this beautiful like glazed rose petal sugary sweetness mixed into it, and it's like the best rose gourmand bakery fragrance, and I love it. So I was like, I wouldn't mind having another version of this one specifically to burn down, even though I have plenty of other versions in my collection. So Pink Petal tea cake for 75% off, couldn't beat it. And then this, I kept looking at this when it was current earlier in the year, like, so it would have been like spring or summer or whatever it was, and I never picked it up, and I was like, you know what, it's 75% off, let me give it a try. I like sniffed this one like so many times in the store, never picked it up, so we finally have coral waves right here. That's what that looks like. This one's peach nectar, beachside coconut, and fresh mango. This is just one of those tropical fruit fragrances that I normally don't gravitate towards, and that's why I didn't buy it. But there's something interesting about the way the coconut and the peach like go together. It's strange, yeah. It's like there's something like sharp but also like nutty about it. It's just a very interesting blend. I wouldn't ever put those three notes together, I guess, but there they are. And so it was just something that was always intriguing on cool, but I don't know how it's gonna perform when it actually goes to burn. So I was like, we're 75% off, let me get it. So coral waves right there. I didn't have a coupon, unfortunately, from the mailer, so those were all like in the $6.12 to $6.62 range. So not bad, cheaper than Candle Day. The next thing on my list was I really want those new men's body care that they released just for SAS. The cologne, I want them to be 75% off. Sometimes online they'll put like a 75% off price on it, but when you go in the store they're still 50% off. But bam, the first store had both of these for 75% off, so I was super stoked about that. So Suede and Sandalwood are right there, and that's what that looks like. This one is a woodsy fragrance with a hint of creaminess inspired by soft, musky suede and smooth sandalwood. This is rather nice. I sprayed it once and it wasn't very strong at all. Honestly, like, I've been using Bath & Body Works men's cologne for a very long time now, or at least a year. They don't have the longest staying power, to be completely honest, and then some of them are just kind of light to begin with and fade. Yeah, they're just not super strong. Like, I've tried other like really expensive, you know, department store perfumes or colognes, and they last like the entire day. But with these BBW ones, they kind of like, they last maybe like an hour or two, and they kind of fade very quickly, and you don't really smell them anymore. But I guess for when you're spending like 75% off, $10 on these cologne fragrances, what can you expect? But that's what the Suede and Sandalwood one looks like right there. I did spray this earlier, very, very, very light, but nice. It's almost like, the sandalwood is like, it is indeed creamy, and there's almost like floral component to it that it almost smells like women's body care, but I don't mind that, which I guess these are technically the unisex fragrances, so that makes sense, because it's like the coffee and whiskey ones and the lemon brandy, which I guess were, I think, unisex fragrances, supposedly. So this kind of makes sense as to why this smells a little bit more perfumey than it does cologne. But yeah, like a creamy, soft, almost powdery, floral sandalwood blend mixed with a hint of like I guess suede note that kind of evokes like almost like a fabricy, leathery type of fragrance to it, which I guess is supposed to be suede. So this is just interesting to have because it's different from all the other colognes that I have. So I did appreciate that. And then we have Sage and Bergamot right here. This one's citrus fragrance with a hint of green freshness, inspired by herbaceous crushed sage and the sunny sweetness of bergamot. This one's a little bit more of your typical cologne fragrance, but I enjoy that there was indeed like a green herbaceous quality to it that made it a little bit more like almost like natural, earthy, planty. Yeah, this one's nice, but that bergamot is your standard men's cologne bergamot fragrance. But there is something a little bit more like green, herbaceous, or planty that kind of like grounds the fragrance that I do enjoy that. So I'm just super happy to have found those for 75% off. So like $10 is what those came out to be. So that was like on the top of my list. So stoked to find that, and I couldn't find those anywhere else on any of the other stores afterwards. So yeah, so that was that. And then that one lone 50% off thing, don't love it. If this goes down to a lower price, make sure you keep your receipt so you can do price adjustments. Whipped rose and vanilla right here. This is crushed rose petals, cocoa flour, and whipped foam. If you've been on my Instagram lives, you know I've been like talking about this a lot. This is the same as whipped rose latte that came out during the Body Care Day promo last year, which I loved. That one was excellent. And it got repackaged indeed as whipped rose and vanilla right here. And I was like, 50% off, like not the best deal, but hoping for a price adjustment on this one in the next 2 weeks. And just in case for some reason these flew out the door or whatever, let me at least lock it in right now. I do really enjoy this. I'm almost done with my first one. It's like a powdery, perfumey floral that's vaguely reminiscent of rose, but not like your true blue, like tea rose or like an English rose fragrance you would get from another different perfumer. It's not quite like that. It's a little bit more that like slightly artificial rose, but still nice nonetheless, with like a very like creamy, almost milkiness to it. If you like chocolate rose macaron, which was that one hit wonder candle from the that 2020 online exclusive collection, this is kind of like the vanilla creamy sister to the chocolate version that is chocolate rose macaron, but really enjoy this one. Actually, it really grew to like this. A little bit more like artificial on the rose than I had hoped for, but still a very decadent and juicy fragrance. So that was that right there. Other interesting stuff that I found was, I think I found like a mahogany vanilla for 75% off at a random store somewhere. I found a ton of the toasted pineapple marshmallow and the hot fudge drizzle. One store I did find a red velvet cupcake, online exclusive return, 2 of them. There was that. I actually even found a Winter White Woods online exclusive return as well, but I have so many of those in back stock that I didn't need that. And then that same store, which was like one of those like desolate mall stores, also had heaps of fall still left over, but it was kind of like the fall that they didn't sell through during Candle Day when I already hit that store up during Candle Day, so there wasn't anything else I needed from that fall selection. And then otherwise, the other 2 stores were just a total snooze fest of just like nothing. Like one mall store had like almost no candles to be had whatsoever. It was crazy. Like the White Barn side was just nothing but body care and soaps. So yikes. I think the only thing I'll come back in for is to price adjust this, and then whenever the new spring stuff comes out, like the pink lavender and espresso and the rose lychee and the sea salt neroli, if that comes out and is also on sale during the SAS promo period, I'll go back for that. But otherwise, I really don't think I need to go back in because I kind of got like everything I wanted. And then I had a few straggling items. As you saw my blush Poinsettia review, I did actually end up buying 2 of these. I found this one for a $16.95 sale and one a $12.95 sale, and when I went to price adjust the $16.95 one for the $12.95, I found a second one, so I just wanted to haul this one in here as well. This is friggin' excellent. Rose petals, green ivy, and sweet marshmallow. It's like rose water and ivy mixed with the marshmallow note of Marshmallow Fireside. Beautiful, gorgeous, perfumey, like, but sweet gourmand marshmallow fragrance. Just excellent. I can't gush about this enough, so just wanted to throw it in there. Again, if you do come across it, highly, highly recommend it. And then, speaking of marshmallow, there was a $6 room spray deal on the 23rd or the 24th or something like that. And I was like, oh my god, there's Marshmallow Musk. So I did get this. If you don't know, Marshmallow Musk is a fragrance from, I believe it was 2018, like spring going into summer. And it was like the Marble Lid collection when White Caramel Cold Brew also first came out as well. And that was the only time that candle ever came out. And I freaking loved it. Like, just fell in love with it. It's like marshmallow and amber and musk maybe. It was just absolutely divine. It's so gorgeous. It's like a sophisticated, almost slightly perfumey marshmallow fragrance. It's like a velvety, sophisticated softness and powdery quality to it. Like, it perfectly captures the essence of the powderiness and the velvety texture of a marshmallow, but then makes it just a little bit more like fine fragrance-ish, and just, it's like, it's so divine. It's absolutely great. And I loved it. I like hoarded that candle, like at least like 4 of them, and enjoyed them. And for some reason, more than 4 years later, the room spray is now out of it. It was just so confusing. This is a spring fragrance, so you should be able to find this into the spring season. And so I had to get it. I had to like vote with my wallet because I would love to see this back in a candle again, but just so random to see it in a room spray like 4.5, almost 5 years later. But yeah, for $6, I was like, let me get this. The room sprays don't last very long, honestly. Like, they're strong when you first spray it, and it might linger for like 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but it kind of completely fades after that. It's not at all a long-lasting fragrance experience. It's more so like, I went to the bathroom, I need to cover it up real quick before visitors come over, and then like in that moment it masks the odor, but it's not like a candle going all the time. So yeah, but excellent fragrance. I was just like, I don't usually have any use for room sprays whatsoever, but when a fragrance this divine comes out, I had to like vote with my wallet. So that's what I did right there. And I believe that is it. Let me know how your SAS journeys were. Hope you found everything you wanted. Honestly, if it wasn't for the very first store, it would have been a total bust, but the very first store basically had most of the stuff that I had on my list. So I was very happy about that. I guess enjoy your candles the next few weeks, and then we'll see each other during springtime when it comes to new stuff. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.